Happening right now, it is Financial Literacy Month, and according to the state treasury, 77% of West Michigan households making under $125,000 say they've never had any form of financial training. Funny enough, over in Metro Detroit, 78% of those folks say the same thing, and that's why leaders at Bank of America have started an initiative. It's called the Better Money Habits Initiative. Nicolette Mendez, a senior vice president from Bank of America, joining us live this morning. First, I need to get your reaction to those numbers. Are you at all surprised that that many people say they've never had training in that area?
No, absolutely not. Unfortunately, and we were talking about this before, you nor I have had that education in school. So it's really, really important.
It really is, yeah. And you know, I remember going through all of the different classes like algebra and like geometry, function, stats, trig, all of that, but never like a financial class in all of this. It wasn't until college, I don't think, that I had that type of training. Why is it important for everybody to have at least some sort of financial training?
So financial literacy is really financial health, right? And having that foundation early helps with basic money management, ultimately control and confidence.
Let's talk about why it's important for those people and how they can use basic resources to their advantage to help them get positioned better financially. Talk about that. Absolutely.
So when I think about financial literacy, I think about starting young with your children. And I've got 3 boys, so I'm in this journey right now. When you think about the importance of Better Money Habits as a tool that Bank of America offers, it is a great resource that provides tools, educational tips that really simplify what finances and money management is all about. It helps with savings, budgeting, and really just practical tips.
Yeah. Talk about the importance of these lessons early on. You were just talking about your children and how you go through these lessons with them. My dad is also in banking, so I know the gamut of how this all works. But talk about the importance of sitting down with your child and having that financial conversation early on so they understand.
Absolutely. So it's a muscle, right, that you want to build. So when I think about my kids, for instance, and how we started, and some tips that are truly helpful for any parent to start with, piggy bank as a great example. Having things that you help your kids understand early to earmark, whether it's sharing, whether it's spending, whether it's savings. And for me, early on with my children, I really started the conversation, how do you want to save? How do you want to spend? And really creating some tangible purpose behind the dollars. I think that's a big opportunity I've experienced when I work with clients in the banks, really understanding how money associates with your goals, with what's important to you.
Okay, I know we want to talk about the Better Money Habits Initiative here. We'll get to that because not everybody uses Bank of America, right?
Absolutely.
But can you provide some sort of resource or, you know, some basic things that people maybe should start down the path to look for in their financial journey if they have no experience whatsoever? What would you recommend to those folks?
Absolutely. So I would start with where you are at today. What is your income? Really understand how you're spending and what you want to save for, so that way you can set a plan. Make a budget for yourself so that you can really start to control how you progress towards your goals.
Okay, and goals could look like, you know, saving up for a house or a car or anything like that?
Absolutely. Saving for a house, saving for a car, saving for retirement. For myself, college.
Right.
For my kids, right? So really making sure that you have that specific intent in mind.
Yeah, I want to ask about your experience when you're talking to people and you find out that they've got no financial literacy at all or no knowledge of how they should be saving. How often do you encounter that? And I mean, are you shocked by that?
No longer am I shocked. I experience it every day. And quite frankly, it's normal, right? It's daunting. A lot of times I've experienced where people are just really uncomfortable having that conversation because they feel like expenses are tight. And it's really just important to start the conversation. It's really important to access digital tools and resources. There are simple budgeting apps that are available. Your bank, right, has great ways for you to really understand how you allocate your funds and determine from there where to go.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned sometimes it's tight. Right now, it is very tight with the gas prices the way they are, grocery prices going up, everything going on that is influencing the stock market, things like that. I guess my question is what would you recommend to those people to kind of get through this tough time financially if they have no experience?
If they have no experience, I would say, again, understanding where you're at and being informed as much as possible with what your income looks like, what flexibility you have in terms of how you create your plan, making sure that you regularly, routinely are checking in on that plan. Make any transfers or savings that you are setting up for yourself automated, if you can do that. And then regularly, routinely go back and make sure that you're on track. And if you can adjust your spending based on your needs and your wants, right, you can really look at that want category of your spending and determine, can you make some adjustments? Can you stop going to Starbucks for that coffee and make it at home? I know, that was a hard one for me to do.
I know, because it's so easy for us because we have one right down here on Alpine.
Yes,
so.
Yes, exactly. So just looking for ways like that to cut and reallocate that money towards your savings, towards other areas to cut your expenses. Think about those high interest credit cards, right?
Yeah.
Things are tight right now, interest rates have gone up. Really looking for ways to pay down your debt and doing it that way.
Okay, yeah, and of course that $7 a day can go a long way in some of those bank accounts that you might be wanting to shove some dollars into. The Better Money Habits Initiative, what is it at Bank of America? Why do you think this is so successful for people?
So Better Money Habits with Bank of America, you can go onto our site and access any of the tools that are out there. They are created in a way that are short clips, very digestible information, and really it's for all of the different life priorities that any person might have. So think about that, buying a home, getting a car. There are tools and tips on how to prepare a plan around that. In addition, Bank of America ties all of our products and services to Better Money Habits because we understand how important that is. So when I think about, for parents, as an example, how we can really be an advocate for the journey and making sure that folks really understand financial literacy, Bank of America offers a safe balance account for family banking that allows parents the ability to create some of that control, to really understand and help their children understand how to manage their money effectively.
Okay, effectively is like really that key word, managing it all effectively. Nicolette, we appreciate your time.
Thank
You've given us a lot of great insight on this topic. I know a lot of people are worried about those finances right now, so
Absolutely.
great to have that conversation.